What was the moment you realized you were truly in love? You remember the day my best friend passed away. I told him when we just met. Short after that, we started dating. 9 months later, it was the date, hard for me. I woke up to flowers, chocolate, and a professional painting of me and my best friend on my doorstep. He left a note saying he'd understand if I wanted to be alone, hence why he didn't hand it over, but left it there. Probably when I realized I was thinking about them all the time, even during random moments. It wasn't just excitement anymore, but feeling calm and happy just being around them. I knew I was in love when I saw the way he breathed, the way he talked and walked and smiled and nodded, and I saw art. Suddenly the simplest things a human can do were magical when they were done by him. I saw happiness. When I didn't have that anxiety you get in relationships. The thought of where they are, what they're doing, whether they'll message me or I have to message them first. There were no games, it was all consistent. Even after an argument, I knew I'd wake up to a good morning message. Everything felt safe and secure. No worries, just admiration. When I knew I fucked up, but I wasn't scared to talk about it. I was still a little anxious, but telling him what I did wrong didn't change shit. He worked with me through it as if it was nothing. When I felt uncomfortable dating others, even though we weren't exclusive, I realized my feelings were deeper than I thought. The first sign was for some reason I couldn't stop looking at the shape of her face, the way her lips moved when she spoke. I remember thinking that her blonde hair was so beautiful that it put the sun to shame. And even though somebody had broken me horribly just a few months earlier, even though I desperately did not want to have feelings, I couldn't imagine being without her. It was a terrifying and beautiful moment. When I caught myself daydreaming about him, I knew I loved him from the start. When I first met him, he was so kind, funny, and cute. We've met 5 to 6 years ago, but I'm finally with him. It's been 1 year, 2 months since we've been together now, and I still love him the same. He makes me nervous still. His touches and everything about him makes me feel more crazy about him. I've never felt this way about anyone before. Maybe I thought I did, but I didn't. Being with him is so much different. I can be me around him without any judgment. He makes me feel special. Love isn't chemistry or butterflies. It's choosing to stay when things get tough, which feels rebellious in a swipe-left world. She texted me, "Look at the moon," and I was on my phone at the time, saw the banner notification, and immediately took a screenshot. I then asked myself why I did that. I never thought people would be irreplaceable until I met my husband. Ours was a long-distance / never gonna happen in million years type of relationship. When I realized the thought of doing the easy thing and finding someone else that's more convenient crushed my heart. I realized he should be the man deserving of all the love I have in me. I love you, Pookie. I thank God every day for you, Sparkles. When I found myself sharing my last slice of pizza without a second thought, that's when I knew it was real. I knew I was truly in love when I found myself doing the little things for him without even thinking twice. Like remembering his favorite snack or staying up late just to talk even when I had an early morning. When he researched what seizures are on YouTube, so he'll know what to do if I ever have a seizure in front of him. Red heart, red heart, red heart, red heart. That's when I knew he was the one. The first time I got really mad at her. We were laying in his bed, and I think someone closed the front door, which was loud and made me flinch. He almost immediately said, "You're okay," and pulled the blanket a little bit further up. Something about him saying "you're okay" instead of "it's okay," and so quickly, I don't know. But that was the moment, LOL. We were co-workers at a bar/restaurant when we met. I was adamant we were just friends, and that I didn't have a crush on her. But one night, something crazy happened. I forget exactly what, it's been several years, and I immediately started doing laps around the place trying to find her to tell her. I can't find her to save my life. Turns out we were both circling the restaurant looking for the other person. I got worried when she would fly on a plane. I'm a rational man, and I know that it's super, super, super unlikely that her plane would have any issues at all. But for some reason, I worry when she gets on one. I also cry like a little bitch when she leaves. When their happiness started to matter more to me than my own. When I realized I was saving the last slice of pizza for her instead of sneakily eating it myself. It was a small, quiet moment that said, "Yep, you're more important than the last piece of pepperoni perfection." He got hammered while we were camping on a float trip. I spent all night hearing him drink water, then lean over me to puke out of the tent opening. Meanwhile, his butt is inside the tent farting. On repeat, all night long. Realized that night, while I'm not even annoyed, I just love this crazy mofo. When we hugged and it felt like home. You ever just listen to someone talk and not really even hear what they're saying, but just feel their presence? When they set the standard for reality, knowing that when they're gone, you'll be lost to figure out your place in it. When the world crumbles with each and every word. When that separation from what we choose to believe is real and what we know to be real finds harmony. Love is truly magical. I realized I was truly in love when we were sitting together in silence, doing nothing particularly special. We were just on the couch, both caught up in our own little worlds. She was reading, I was scrolling through my phone. But there was this overwhelming sense of peace and contentment that washed over me. I didn't need her to say anything or do anything to make the moment perfect. It hit me then how deeply I cared for her, how much her presence alone made everything better. That was the moment I knew I was in love. When I realized that I could not imagine going through this life without him in it. I remember her unique features, her eyebrows, hands, shoes she's wearing, color of her dress, her hairstyle, her likes and dislikes, the way she talks, smiles, and her mistakes. I remember every bit of it. Unfortunately, she was my summer. I'd rather compromise or hear more about his opinion than only prove that I'm right. He brings out the best in me, and I want to be that person for him. My heart skipped a beat, and my kitty growled. When I realized I didn't care about looking dumb around him, like I could fully be myself, and it felt so natural. That's when I knew. When I gave almost all of my savings just to help him pay the tuition of his younger brother, him being the breadwinner of their family. When I realized that I would die for them. When I caught myself thinking about him and thinking about our life if we be together. When I truly, genuinely realized that I valued his happiness as much as my own. He was telling me about his plans and ambitions, and I was excited for him and absolutely thrilled when they progressed in any way. I love him so much, his happiness really means the world to me. When I was thinking only about him. Why is OP using ChatGPT to respond to comments? I was having a really bad panic attack after an incident, and my boyfriend called me up on the phone to calm me. I just felt really loved and protected in that moment, and it hit me in that moment that he actually cared for me, and I want to make him feel just as loved. There's also him engaging in stuff I like without any hesitation. He would try out books and movies and then talk in depth about them with me, or go to concerts with me. Even though he has never heard of the artist before, he made it clear he just wanted to see me happy. The day they had to go out of town, I was so damn depressed. When I realized I couldn't stop thinking about her. When I saw his baby pictures when I went to go visit him at his parents' house. Something about those pictures of them growing made me realize how much I love them and everything about them.